and welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational teaching from Evangelical Alliance Ireland. I'm Pastor Mike O'Donovan from Grace Church in Cork. And I have a question for you. Who are you looking at? Who is the person in your life who is the most inspirational and the most influential in your life? As Christians, of course, we rush to the answer and say, well, it's Jesus, isn't it? Yes and no. It should be, but it isn't always Jesus. Oscar Wilde, the very famous Irish poet and playwright, wrote this from his jail cell in 1897. He wrote, "Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions. Their lives are a mimicry. Their passions a quotation." In some ways, he's summing up that people lack individuality. From a Christian perspective, we aren't supposed to cherish too much that individuality. In actual fact, from a Christian perspective, we should be trying to be mimickers of Jesus. We should have, as part of our passion, part of our drive, who Jesus is and what he tells us to do. And while Oscar Wilde was able to say that he felt that he was an individual, we as Christians aren't always called to express our individuality. Yes, we are individuals, but we are designed to take on the shape and form and passions of God. Jesus, after he rose from the dead, is recorded in John 21 as calling Peter aside and saying to him, "Peter, follow me." This was after Peter had been restored. Peter had made some big mistakes. We know that he denied Jesus 3 times. And so Jesus effectively restored him 3 times in John 21 by asking him 3 very incisive questions. And at the end, Jesus said to him, "Peter, follow me." But Peter turned around and saw the disciple that Jesus loved, it records. And Peter asked Jesus, "What about him, Lord?" Jesus replied, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? As for you, you follow me." That was Jesus' instruction clearly to Peter, and it's clearly his instruction to us. We must, in our circumstances and in our situations, with our temperaments and our personalities, with our foibles and our failures and our weaknesses, follow Jesus. And we are not to compare with other people, just like Peter did, compared with John. What about him, Lord? Here's what the writer Paul writes to the Galatians. This is from the New Living Translation. In Galatians chapter 6, he says, "Pay careful attention to your own work, for then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done, and you won't need to compare yourself with anyone else, for we are each responsible for our own conduct." We are to compare ourselves not with others, but with Christ. That's why he was able to write to the Christians in Corinth. He wrote to them, "You should imitate me just as I imitate Christ," because we are all imitating someone. They say in what they call spiritual formation that we are all being formed by something and someone. I like what the author and writer David Mathis said. He said, "Who has your attention? Who's on your screen? Who's in your ear? Whatever is on your screen or in your podcast feed today is a glimpse of who you will be tomorrow." The English poet William Blake said, "We become what we behold. What we most value is the very thing that we become like." In actual fact, the psalmist said this about people who worshipped idols. He said, "Our God dwells in heaven and he does what pleases him. But their idols are silver and gold made by human hands. They have mouths but can't speak, eyes but cannot see. They have ears but cannot hear, noses but cannot smell. They have hands but can't feel, feet but cannot walk, nor can they utter a sound with their throats. Those who make them will be like them, and so will all who trust in him." We are all becoming like someone. We are all becoming like the one that we look at, the one that we value the most, the one upon whose opinion we place the highest value. And that is why Paul was able to write to the Hebrew Christians when he writes in Hebrews chapter 12. I'm going to take 1b to 2a of those verses. He says this, "Let us run with endurance the race set before us." And then he gives a clue. We do this, he says, by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Or to take William Blake's example, behold Jesus and become like him. Come like him. So who are you looking at today? Because who you're looking at today is a glimpse of who you will be tomorrow. So I encourage you today, behold Jesus. Listen to his word. Bask in his presence. Let him hear your voice and then hear his voice. And in doing so, by looking at him and looking to him, you will become more like him. God bless you, and join us tomorrow for another Take 5, your inspirational 5-minute message from Evangelical Alliance Ireland.